Hello, Janksters, and welcome to another edition of the MagicJank podcast, the weekly show where members of Team MagicJank get together and we talk about the latest happenings in Magic the Gathering, and we got a fun one today. So, my name is Graham, I go by Hamhux42 on the internet, and I'm joined by Carlo, aka C. Favretto Jr. How we doing, man?
Hey, yo, doing good. Just coming back from SCGCon last week. That was
Excellent.
down in Chantilly, Virginia at the Dulles Expo Center, which is probably one of the best expo centers to go to for Magic events, even in the past. So yeah, had a lot of fun. I brought home an Oko with me. For those of you watching on YouTube, a big Oko now rests in my background. And yeah, had lots of fun, played lots of Magic. Didn't win a whole lot of Magic, but it was okay. It was still fun.
Rock on, man. Yeah, good stuff. You love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a long weekend of actually playing Sea of Thieves and not stressing about Magic, which actually is kind of nice every now and then. Highly recommend taking those breaks. But anyway, yeah. So in not this week as we're recording this, but next week we have a big event coming up that is going to kind of change probably the release schedule of our next episode. Although, if we're successful and my tech cooperates, there's a good chance that it'll sound a little bit different because we're actually going to be in person, believe it or not. So right now, if it's not abundantly clear, Carlo and I are in different locations and we're, doing the green screen. Well, I'm doing the green screen thing. We're talking over Discord, which is great. I love the fact that we have this technology. But next week, we're going to be hanging out in Vegas, baby, for MagicCon Las Vegas, which is... It's coming up. We've been talking about it a lot and, mentioning it, from time to time on the podcast because honestly, we're excited. It's a big deal. These Magic Cons are always a fantastic opportunity. And today we wanted to kind of talk through what they are, what's going on. If this is, for anybody out there who is going to be going, what to expect when you get there and kind of, what it's going to be like and whether or not they're worth it. I mean, at this point, this particular one is all sold out, but the model that they're using for this, they've been using for Magic Cons now for 2 years. So there's a good chance that anything we have next year is going to match the same situation. So it gives you an opportunity to think, okay, is this going to be worth it and getting involved in the future? Spoiler warning, it is. But, okay, we're not biased or anything. All right. But yeah, so let's go ahead and dive on in. So MagicCon Las Vegas this year is going to be October 25th through the 27th. So it's Friday to Sunday, kind of traditional con setup. And I know you and I are going to be there for a couple of days on either end because why not? If you have an opportunity.
Mini vacation within the con, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, streams get, and this actually, I think it's safe to say for pretty much all the Magic streamers, that weekend is going to get, normal schedules will be thrown off across the entire category. Just a heads up on that. That's absolutely part of the deal. But it's going to be great. Yeah, and I think the whole city of Las Vegas is going to have just a general swarm of nerds descend upon it, and can't wait. But yeah, nerds. So that's right. So that's that next weekend, and I know that they have a number of different packages for tickets and people who will be experiencing some different levels and different amenities. I don't know. Did you want to go through those real quick? And
yeah, sure. Yeah, especially for folks if you've never been to a MagicCon and you're confused when you look at the website and you're like, well, what does it mean if I get a weekend badge versus if I just get a single day badge? Or what's a premium badge? Because there's so many different ones of those. There's like the Legendary VIP package, Black Lotus VIP package that covers like the weekend, and they're all different prices because they come with different things. So, you could get a single day badge, which means you can only attend either on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. And they're $40. And that basically just gets you your basic stuff. So you get your entry into the event, and then you also get a non-foil counterspell promo card. So a little promo thing for you. If you got the weekend badge that cost $100, that got you in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it gets you just entry into the event and 2 counterspell promo cards. So 1 extra promo. If you purchased a premium single day package, which for Vegas was like $70, that means you got your entry, your counterspell, but then you also got 2 collector boosters. One from Bloomborough and one from Duskmorn. So essentially, you are paying an extra $30 for 2 collector boosters, right? Which is cheaper than you'd buy collector boosters retail on the market, right?
Yeah. If you were gonna get collector boosters anyway, it's a great opportunity
Listen,
to
who
pick
doesn't
them
want to
up.
walk
Yeah.
into the con and open up 2 foil booster packs, right? Like
I
that's
mean,
not like out of this world crazy. Um, but if you wanted the premium weekend badge, that costs like $165, I think. Got you entry for 3 days. You get 2 foil counterspell promo cards, so foil counterspells, 2 Bloomborough collector booster packs, 1 Duskmourn House of Horrors collector booster pack,
mm,
and then you got 1 MagicCon Las Vegas event playmat, so a special playmat commemorating the con, and then also a exclusive deck box and sleeves for that particular MagicCon. Excuse me. And it's been like that for pretty much the same, I want to say, for every MagicCon that we've experienced so far,
mm-hmm.
where it got you some number of promotional items. I remember when we went to Chicago not too long ago, we got one that had Murders of Karloff Manor on it.
Yep.
So I had like Kaya and Proft, and I think it was a Trada on that playmat, so it was pretty nice and sweet looking. Personally, I still use that playmat when I
Yes.
go out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
show it
one of
off, show it off.
it's one of my go-to spell table mats. Yes.
That is glorious. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, it is a beautiful playmat, beautiful art.
Yeah, and Tace is on it too if you look closely. Poor Taysa.
Oh, in the background,
Yep.
rest in
Right behind
pepperonis.
Kaya. Anyway, yep. Yeah. Yeah, and then and last year Minneapolis had one that was the March of the Machine, which is another one that I use all the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Love it. They're great. Yeah.
Mhm.
They knock it out of the park every time.
Yeah. So that's your premium weekend badge.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's 2 elevated levels. One is your legendary VIP package. That for MagicCon Vegas cost $360 for the weekend. So got you your entry. You got a special branded lanyard to show that you were a legendary VIP. Got 2 of those foil counterspell promo cards, 3 Bloomborough collector boosters, 2 Duskmourn collector boosters, an exclusive legendary VIP playmat. Nobody knows what that is. I think it's different each event. You got the 2024 exclusive deck box and sleeves. You get an official Las Vegas pin that you could otherwise, I think, buy in the store or something like this. You get an official exclusive 10% off any show merchandise coupon that you can use throughout the weekend. And the MagicCon's show store, the official show store, always has tons of great stuff. And I'm going to come back and talk about the show store a little bit later because sometimes you get some cool deals. You get an exclusive legendary VIP drinkware, so like a water bottle or something like this, and then a special bag. So it says that you are exclusive legendary VIP. So you get all of the VIP treatments. But the big one is the Black Lotus VIP badge. And that gets you a ton of stuff. So imagine almost everything I said for the legendary package, right? So getting the 3 collector boosters of Bloomborough, 1 collector booster of Duskmourn. You get 4 counter spells. So you finish off your playset. You get the deck box. You get a special progressive sealed event package. So there are special events that only folks who have the Black Lotus VIP badge can participate in a whole separate room from the con that you can play at your leisure. It actually gets you onto the show floor early. So if you want to show up and not have to stand in line, bam, you're in, no problem. You get exclusive shopping time at the show store, which typically has lots of lines. You get 2 hours, I think it is, for each day or a certain day. I think this one happens the day before. You can go early on Thursday and buy whatever you want from the store. You have a VIP lounge with snacks and stuff, which is great. You get exclusive signing opportunities with artists and different Magic personalities. You get an exclusive play opportunities in your Black Lotus VIP section. You get pins. You get a special Black Lotus exclusive play mat. You get clothing, you get the drinkware, you get exclusive lanyards, you get all of that stuff. And you have access to all of the different play spaces that are there. and I think special seating at the Mana stage, which is where all the main events happen
Mm.
throughout the week. So like when they do the different previews and panels and game nights live and stuff like that, you have an exclusive space that is there.
Yeah.
And plus, you get to participate in tons of activities. So there's a breakdown on the MagicCon website that shows like exactly each event that person gets to play in. From my experience in the past, seeing people who had Black Lotus badges, they give them exclusive product like all the time. They just start like handing them collector boosters here and there. At
It's
Chicago,
nuts.
they had access to the Fallout set collector boosters like 3 or 4 weeks before the set came out. So those people who had the Black Lotus VIP were like opening up these booster packs and say, "Oh my god, what is this?" and showing like the preview cards out there on socials and stuff. That was
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
it was wild. Yeah, I think they made a special type. I think they made a special booster that was like a limited number of cards that they were, and that's how they got released. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So tons of different activities to participate in.
and some of those perks may not sound like a lot, like a special time at the store. Like, what's that really like? Is that really that valuable? Because you still have to buy the merch when you get there, right?
Right.
Although you do get 10% off still, so that's nice. But in reality, those lines that we're talking about can be massive. I'll never forget in Chicago, we were there on Friday when they opened the doors. We weren't very far, close to the line going into the show floor. We had to. There was a little ways to get there, but by the time we even just made it physically to the store, there was like a 2-hour line. It was insane. Right. So like that does make a significant difference. You get a lot of your time back at the convention if you can not stress those kinds of waits. And at the Mana stage, the idea of special seating, like that's standing room only for all of those events if you don't get there significantly early. It's yeah. So those may not sound like a lot, but they kind of are. It's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
It's a lot. And hey, listen, I don't mind getting handed random booster packs throughout the day for me to open, like hello.
In general, that's something that Wizards does that is just delightful, is they will have people just handing out random stuff to random folks throughout the day, like throughout the whole weekend. And the idea that they prioritize the Black Lotus, folks, that makes sense. And it's really cool. They hook people up. It's not uncommon, like, as you're leaving for somebody to just hand you a booster. Like, that happens often as well. And just cause. Like, there's no special reason you didn't do anything. You're just here. So here, have some more Magic cards.
The very first MagicCon that I went to in Philly, I'll never forget, like, at the end of the con where they're making the announcements, hey, the event hall is closing. Meanwhile, all the commander tables are still full and people are playing Magic, right? They're like, listen, we need to get you out. So as you're leaving, here, we have our wizard staff who are at the exits, and they're just handing people collector boosters on the way out. And they're like, here, take these, but you gotta leave, but take these foil cards. Like, it's fine. So, listen, you will find that throughout the weekend. Like, whether you are going into the creator area for the different meet and greets, which we'll get into in a little bit, whether you're just randomly perusing the Art of Magic section, people might just walk up to you and hand you free stuff. That's a beautiful thing about MagicCon, and it doesn't matter what type of badge that you purchased. You could be your weekend badge or your normal like single day badge, and you can leave the hall with like $150 in product or more by the end of the day, just for free, just for fun. So it really, truly gives you that con experience, no matter what level of package that you want to purchase.
Absolutely. Well, and they've also done special promos with secret layers that they hand out that are exclusive to the convention.
Yeah.
Like the Shivan Dragon comes to mind. I don't recall if this was Chicago, if this was for was this Vegas last year? Regardless, they only had 295 of them ever made with unique art, and all of them were just handed out to random
people,
con attendees, just randomly. It could just be as far as I know, the folks at Wizards who were responsible for handing them out, like people who were working the event, just got an allotment of them, and their assignment was just hand them to people, whoever. Yeah. And I don't think they had any criteria for who to choose. So somebody might just like the shirt you were wearing. So here, have a super limited Shivan Dragon. And the vendors were buying these for like $1,000 or something crazy like that. So like it's hitting a lotto ticket if you get handed one of those. And to a lesser extent, there's actually a there was a TARDIS in Vegas last year because it was right around
Yeah.
the time the Doctor Who stuff was coming out, and anyone who had their picture taken with it was given a special foil, promo edition of the TARDIS,
Yeah.
and and those are worth, the card itself, the TARDIS it's fine,
They were
but if
selling
you
for a lot of money then.
but
Yeah.
those ones were worth quite a bit.
They
Yeah, they
were
were selling
Surge
for.
foil, so like the Warhammer
Hmm.
foil cards. And they didn't print. Well, they did print some number of Doctor Who cards, I think, in like the Surge foil or special foiling in
Yeah.
collector boosters. But the fact that you went up to the TARDIS, you got to take
Hmm.
a picture of the life-size TARDIS,
Result.
and then you
Yeah.
got one of these just for having your picture taken in front of something. Whether you took a selfie or you had, the very nice employees that they had standing there that would take your
Yep.
phone and take pictures for you. Um, I've never seen that at a con. It was like, here, get somebody random to take your picture, and hopefully they don't walk away with your phone. But no, they
Right.
had, yeah, there we go. So this was me, a couple of my buddies for those of you watching on YouTube,
Yeah, for the video folks.
this
Yeah.
was me and a couple of my buddies that I traveled with to that MagicCon, and yeah, you couldn't go in the TARDIS, and there was a sign on
No.
there specifically saying, "Please don't walk in here." Um,
Hmm.
but it was the promotion of Doctor Who, and you got a bunch of stuff,
Yeah. And
and everybody got promos of this who walked up there, not just like
yeah.
randomly, but if you took your picture, bam, you got it.
Yeah, and I mean, it would be just cool enough to just
Hmm.
have you know, to have the TARDIS there and to have an employee who's willing to take the photo for you. That's all
Yeah,
lovely and that's enough. But the
yeah,
fact that person also had, a big box of these special promos in their pocket that they were just handing out to folks as you went.
yeah. And I
It was
think
really cool.
at that same event, it was like right behind the
Hmm.
TARDIS. There were like the registration desks, and you could go over there at a certain time, and they would hand you a free etched foil lotus petal at the time. And it was like, man, everybody, make sure you go over there, get your
Hmm.
promos. Like, and so you would always see like a mad rush for people going over there to pick them up, and it was great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's super cool. Yeah, so they hook you up with the promos. And the other thing that we note, just I'm certainly not an intense MTG finance individual, but these con specific or event specific promos,
hmm,
they're worth they're worth it. And frankly, they're really cool. Like
yeah,
one of the things con attendees in the past have gotten a particular arcane signet that looks kind of like
yeah.
the Infinity Gauntlet. It's the comparison that folks make, and it's one that I have. I've picked up I think 3 of them just over the years, or well, over last year because I went to a lot of events. But
Oh
I have
yes,
them in all my decks. I never would have thought, and I can't imagine parting with them because they're such a cool memento,
right.
from those events. And it's the kind of card that you can put in any commander deck. So
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, so they do. Anyway, it's lovely. So yeah, good folks at Wizards, thank you for doing what you're doing, hooking the
Yeah.
community up at these events. It's really cool. And the event is special enough just by virtue of being able to see so many people and experience the gathering. It's so
For
corny to say
sure.
that, but it's true. Like it's just true. There's a reason that cliche has stuck on because yeah, why
Yeah.
that turn of phrase is stuck because it's real. Yeah.
One other thing, obviously, that you get to do at MagicCon is you get to walk around and play Magic,
Oh my
right?
goodness, yes.
And when I tell you, when you walk into like wherever the command zone area might be, or just the free to play tables, because they have them everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
um, you'll find some friends,
Yeah,
and
you
you
will.
might be meeting some new people, and you'll likely see them at another MagicCon, right?
Mm-hmm.
This particular picture that's on the screen, for y'all watching on YouTube, a bunch of us from Team MagicJank obviously went out to Vegas last year.
Yep.
So you see me there, you see Ham Hocks and Hollywood Pizza is on the right hand side. Damien, F16 is straight ahead away, and we are playing with the one Jame there
Yeah.
in some commander 5-person commander pod, which is kind of sacrilege, but
Little
we're
bit, but
sitting
it's
there,
fun.
yeah, we're playing and we're having a good old time. Um, and so you might, when I tell you these areas are so busy, you might not even be able to find a table right away,
Mm-hmm.
but you will pass by a table where 1 or 2 people have gotten up, and you just sit down and you meet some new friends and you play some games of Magic, and you'll probably see them, like I said, at another con. So that excitement builds to then see these people that you met.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe y'all have made some improvements to your commander decks.
Right.
or just generally want to meet up and play some Magic, you know?
It's funny you mentioned that. Randomly in a crowd, actually in Chicago, I bumped into some people who I literally met in the terminal on the return flight from
Oh
Vegas.
wow.
And they're like, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
how's it going?" And like immediately, it's just, you make you make friends really quickly, and in
Yeah.
that environment, in that mode, like it sticks. It's really cool, and yeah, it's great. Oh my goodness. I'm honestly just
Yes.
I'm getting giddy thinking about it.
I know, right? And we're less than 2 weeks away at this point, right? We've got a whole
Mhm.
nother weekend, week and a half almost before we leave to get there.
Yep, yep.
Um, but it's all about the experience. No matter where you go, whatever section of the MagicCon you go to, the goal is for them to get you with that experience, and they literally give you so many things to do. Like
Mhm.
I, there is a limit of things that are there, but it's unlimited experience because
Mhm.
you'll be lucky if you can actually do every single thing at the MagicCon over a weekend. I guarantee you won't, which is going to make you want to go to another one.
Exactly.
So that way
Yep.
you at least do the stuff that you maybe didn't get to do the first time. Um, but one thing that has continued to be a mainstay of MagicCon, it wasn't so much for the first year, but in the second year, they started doing this thing called Family Magic. Um, and Family Magic was like a zone where, families who do play Magic together, because there are plenty of them, have a section they could go to for activities. That's more than just necessarily playing Magic. Um, in Family Magic, they do different activities like paint and take, where they let you do like a little mini paint activity with kids. You get to craft like +1/+1 counters, or like death touch counters, or lifelink counters, and put those sort of things together. You can work together with other kids who are in that zone, or other families who are in that zone, to create like a certain piece of artwork that will be a mainstay that gets other families to add on to throughout MagicCon. So you can go back and see what this piece of artwork that families have created together and what that becomes at the end of the day.
Mm.
Um, and in addition to that, they get the magic artists involved. So there might be some point in times where you can go over there and like, oh my god, you get to see Phil Stone, and Phil Stone is drawing some sketch with your kids, right? And it's like that doesn't happen on a regular basis. And hey, I saw Phil Stone at SCG Con, and SCG Con was busy, and Phil Stone was, doing sketches, doing the different types of commissions, and trying to sign cards all at the same time. Artists don't have enough time to do everything at these cons. So for the artist to put something aside, some time aside to go ahead and make some artwork or work with kids is pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. Um,
Absolutely.
and you know, in that zone too, they also get together with different vendors. So like Ultra Pro is going to be there and doing like deck box decorating with the kids, making friendship bracelets that they can exchange with each other. They actually have a daily league, like a family play league that parents and kids can play in together. And all of this stuff is free, by the way. It doesn't cost anything additional to get involved in these activities. So, part of what you were paying for your pass to get into the place is paying for these activities to happen. Um, but I would be sure that like the cost of the events are probably higher than you've paid for your badge, right? So again, it's all about the experience
Mhm.
for all of this stuff. And kids are cheaper to go. I think cheap kids are like $20 or something like this for a day pad. So it's not even like you're paying the full price uh, to get in, but you still get to experience the whole con. So that's really become a mainstay. I know our friends at Family the Gathering had a helping hand in that over some of the Magic Cons over the last year. And that is a group of content creators. I would highly encourage you to check them out. They play Magic together. Who would have thought?
Crazy. Yeah.
And yeah, so they're always great to hang out with and promoting these types of activities. So that's been a really cool mainstay of MagicCon over the last year, and hopefully that continues in MagicCons for 2025.
Absolutely. No, it's fantastic. I think anything that can broaden the appeal and get more folks involved is a
Yeah.
win. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my goodness.
most people started playing Magic when they were kids. I mean, hey, I was a teenager when I started uh,
Mhm.
playing Magic and like the Junior Super Series and stuff like that. So, you know, even though they will forever have us for customers, they still got to
Yes.
always make sure that they are recapturing that youth base somehow. So that is
Exactly.
certainly one way to keep doing that.
Yeah. No, I remember I was 17 and with a group of guys who would get to school early and hang out in the library and jam a couple of games before class. Yep.
Yeah,
Very familiar with that setup.
yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Um, so you know, next up at MagicCon, there's believe it or not, you can play Magic at MagicCon.
Wait, what?
Aside from just like the command zone, because that's always busy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but there are like different ticketed play periods that you can play in for particular events, and the largest tournament that's happening there is Magic World Championships, which you'd have to be pre-qualified for, of
Well,
course.
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
big spectacle is happening, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe it is a standard World Championship. So
Yep.
I'm gonna be interested in watching some of that play happen.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It's gonna be
but
really
if
cool to see what rises to the top here. Do you? Oh, okay. If I could just diverge for a second, do you think
yeah,
Leyline of Resonance is gonna put up numbers?
yes,
Okay.
I have a feeling. Um, listen, coming from SCGCon and that card being able to be played in Pioneer and how ridiculous it was in that format just
Yeah.
makes it as ridiculous in Standard. So I imagine some pro teams are going to be testing with it to see
I'm sure they're all testing it. Yeah.
how like statistically possible to get a copy of this into your hand
Mm-hmm.
to have a pregame effect, and can you win on turn 3? Listen, not for nothing, and y'all know that I play viewer decks all the time on my channel. Last night on stream, a friend of the stream, Go Calper, had
Mm-hmm.
submitted me a mono red deck with 16 mountains and a sideboard full of basic lands, and we were still able to win and land Leyline of Resonance and win on turn 2 and 3 in standard and best of 3. So let me tell you,
Wow.
this card is egregious. I am not calling for cards to get banned in standard. However, there should be eyes looked at this card
Yeah. Okay.
for the impact it's having.
Okay. Because that's the big question: is in best of three when people know it's coming, is it good enough? And I guess in best of one, it's obviously insane, but this tournament's not best of one. So yeah.
The
Anyway,
deck
I
that
was
can
just
kill you
curious.
on turn 2 and 3 with this card
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't think it belongs in standard.
I'm
I'm not
100% in
advocating for it to
agreement.
get banned. I don't like banning cards in standard format,
Mm-hmm. I'm with
but
you.
it doesn't belong. This card should have been printed in a Modern Horizon set,
Yes. If this
and
was in
given
Modern
it
Horizons 3, I would have
to,
bought it. Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is so
So
funny too
yeah,
when you compare it to some of the other ley lines in the cycle, because it's like really like this is anyway. Yeah.
here's
But
me
now I can
trying
make
to
all my
play
creatures
my.
ninjas. Yeah, that's one of these
Yeah,
things is not
we
like
could
the
do
other.
that, or we can gain extra life. Like, these are fair ley lines.
Right.
This one is
Yeah.
not fair, y'all.
This one's not fair.
Not
All the
fair
other
at
ones in the
all.
cycle I have no issue with. I think they're all fine, but this one is I dislike what they do for limited. Because even this one is a dud in limited. But anyway,
Yes.
the reason that I asked specifically is that obviously World Championship, it is standard, and this is the one card that I just immediately I expect there to be some kind of, Golgari mid-range deck. I expect there to be some
For
kind
sure.
of, I'm not sure if there's going to be a black discard deck. It'll be interesting to see if that pops up. I know the Boros control deck has been a thing with Caretaker's Talent. Like, maybe
Hmm.
that has a chance. I was just curious, this red deck, is it the real deal? Is it a world championship deck? And,
Who knows?
yeah,
All of
who
those decks
knows?
have to be able to not die on turn 3. So,
Yep. Well,
uh,
and we like us casual armchair pro tour qualifiers, we can look at something like this and interested like, oh, this is problematic or whatever, but the pros right now probably are going, are in their testing houses in various wherever they're preparing,
yeah,
and they're running the numbers on this and really seeing like, okay, is this real? Can this
yeah.
can this win the world championship? And they'll find the answer, and it'll be really interesting to see what decks get registered. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, if you remember when we did the streamer event for Duskmorn, they
Mm-hmm.
specifically had World Championship competitors on that client with us.
Mm-hmm.
For the goal was for them to test standard for worlds. And how many times did we queue up and we played against world's qualifying players that
Mm-hmm.
were playing Leyline of Resonance, Mono
Oh
Red,
yeah.
kill you on 2 or 3. So like, it's already on the radar for
Oh,
those pros who are playing.
absolutely. Yeah.
So probably more than you see. Like, if you think that you see this on Arena or Magic Online a lot, the amount of pros like testing the deck is probably more than what you see. Um, to be very honest. So yeah,
I'm just
standard.
hoping I'm just really hoping the fact that I opened 2 of these in my pre-release pool is going to come back and be a long-term win, even though it was a short-term dud.
Here's you
Yeah.
hoping for your $30 ley line of
Come on,
resonance. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, I'm really hoping somebody spikes this tournament and
right.
I can cash those in. That'd be great. Anyway, yeah,
So
fingers crossed.
speaking of high level Magic,
Yes.
being able to be played at MagicCon Las Vegas, um, one of the big draws for MagicCon is that there is a $100,000 limited open. So you can play in an event there and get your share of $100,000 in prizes just playing Duskmourn Sealed. And in fact, the same event awards 8 invites to the first Pro Tour of 2025, which hasn't been announced yet. It will be announced at MagicCon. So first place itself gets $20,000. Imagine going to Vegas and not having to gamble, but you can play Magic and win $20,000. That's pretty cool, in my opinion.
Heck yeah.
But you're talking, this is going to take 2 full days of your play.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have day 1, you get to play 8 rounds of Duskmourn Sealed, and then on day 2, you get to play. Oh, I'm sorry. You get to play 8 rounds of Duskmourn Sealed on day 1, 2 3-round Duskmourn House of Horror drafts on day 2, and a spooky single elimination draft on the top 8 on Sunday. So you actually play for 3 days, but the top 8 is on day 3. And any player who finishes with 36 match points or higher gets an invite to the Pro Tour. So it's a good value event. Now, I think this costs, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that this costs like $100 or $125 to get in
That
to
sounds
the
right.
actual event, which makes sense when they're giving away $100,000 in prizes.
Right. Yeah.
And Pro Tour invites and all of that stuff. So, you're talking about a high roller event for you to participate in. But if you want to scratch your itch for some competitive Magic, that's one of the events that you want to play in. So if you're not into necessarily all the Commander stuff and you just want to be able to go to the con with all your buddies and play some competitive Magic, that can be had here. And if you don't do well in this limited open, let's say day 1, you unfortunately go like X and 3 and you can't progress to the next day, there are PTQs, like actual Pro Tour qualifier tournaments that you can play in that are also Duskmourn Sealed. So different events for you to play in throughout the weekend on Saturday and on Sunday that can actually award you Pro Tour invites. So high-level competitive Magic can be had at MagicCon. So it really does provide a great experience for anybody. If you want the casual atmosphere with Commander or your typical on-demand events, let's say you want to draft Mystery Booster 2, because that's available at MagicCon Las Vegas. Remember, it's convention or Secret Lair site exclusive. It can be had. If you want to open up Oracle of the Alpha out of a booster pack.
In paper.
In paper.
In physical paper. You can hold it in your hand.
You can do it. But guess what you have to bring with you? The Power 9.
You gotta bring, you need to provide your own Power 9 proxies. Good luck with that. But yeah.
There are no Power 9 tokens. But I will tell you, listen, hey yo, RK Post is going to be at MagicCon Las Vegas. RK Post, one of my favorite artists of all time. He's at like every Magic event I go to. He's always sketching stuff, signing stuff. He has so many different tokens. He actually has a Power 9 token set that you can buy for pretty cheap.
Ooh.
So hey, if you want to stop by his booth, grab some Power 9 tokens. In case you open up that Oracle the Alpha and you put it in your draft deck, you are good to go because it's the same size as a Magic card. So it can be done.
Let's go. Love it.
It can be done.
Oh, the fact that can happen. You can draft alchemy cards now. That's a thing. In these very specific environments, which, for the record, though, for anyone who's worried, it does have an acorn sticker on it. It is
Yeah,
not commander legal. Don't worry. Like,
right.
it's one of those rule zero for funsies kind of deals. Like, but anyway, but it does
You
exist.
mean I can't play my Rusco and Paper Magic either and create
I,
midnight clock tokens?
I would ask you not to. Yes.
But, there's no midnight clock tokens either.
Yeah.
However, and again, not sponsored, if you ever did need midnight clock tokens, I I would tell you our friends from Infinite Tokens are going to be at MagicCon Las Vegas, and you can
Mm-hmm.
draw any kind of token that you want
They're
on
great.
here with dry erase markers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in fact, I heard from a little bird that you will be able to find Megan herself at the Nerd Rage Gaming booth at
Ooh,
MagicCon
excellent.
Vegas. So she'll be there in person sharing some booth space. So in case you wanted to pick up some Infinite Tokens of your own, you can do that.
Excellent. And I highly recommend it if you do not currently have them. And I'm not just saying that because Megan is lovely and, a very involved member of the community, although
Yep.
that is lovely. Like, again, great. But the bottom line is they're just super handy. They're just
Yeah.
insanely useful. And I use them for everything. They've completely replaced Post-it notes in my world. And
Mm-hmm.
the catalyst for me to finally pull the trigger on them was I built a Garuda deck, and my plan on playing it over Spell Table, like, primarily. And so if I'm going to be stealing my opponent's things, I need to be able to represent them somehow. And they were a lifesaver, to the point where actually the very first game I played with that, I sketched a little Sun Titan on one of these, posted that to Twitter, and
Yeah.
Megan from Infinite Tokens actually liked it and put it on the official Infinite Tokens playmat. So
Oh,
that's
that's
what,
awesome.
yeah, it's like to this day, of all of the
Yeah.
things that I've done in content creation, I have to be honest, that's one of those, like, I think it was in Minneapolis or something, she actually had me sign it, and I was just
Yeah.
like, that was one of the best. A
Yeah.
little stick figure Sun Titan was one of my, crowning pieces of content that I've ever made. Anyway,
Yeah. Megan is
they're
awesome. I
great.
had the
Yeah,
opportunity at when I went to Command Fest Atlanta some number of months ago. I don't know anymore. I've lost track of time.
it's the
Um,
one with the thing. Yeah.
but Megan was there, and that was release weekend for Modern Horizons 3. And I actually had the opportunity to do a pre-con battle with Megan
Nice.
and Steven Cop. And I
Mm.
think who else played with us? It was JM from Trying Casually
Oh,
Games.
nice. That sounds like a
And
killer pod. Yeah.
it was a great event. It was like $40 to play. They opened up a sealed box and they randomly handed you a Modern Horizons 3 precon. And I got the
Amazing.
Eldrazi precon, so I was all giddy because I got it for $40, which was super cheap, and also
Yep.
super unfair. But
Really?
Cop
Is that
Cop ended
right?
up destroying us with the Jeskai energy deck, because
Oh,
turns out there's like 7 infinite combos in that precon commander deck. So we died. Um, but it was a great time because we got to actually sit down and play a game with Megan, and a bunch of people, of course, were coming over to her and saying, "Hey, can you sign this? Hey, can
mm-hmm.
you do this with my Infinite token?" So it was great to see that happening
Amazing.
in person there.
Yeah,
So I can only imagine what Vegas is going to be like.
absolutely. Yeah, very cool. And she usually does show up to the con with, like a backpack full of Infinite tokens. So let's make sure that, she doesn't go home with those Infinite tokens and instead
Yeah,
goes home with some money in her pocket. I think that would be great.
exactly.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, and if you just grab them, they're great. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, not sponsored, but
Not
yeah,
sponsored.
not sponsored.
But
Anyway,
we do support the
good stuff.
homies here, so
100%.
always great to do that.
Yeah. Well, and with how many token generators there are in the game right now, it's
You
just
never
what you
have
need.
enough.
Like, I
You
have a
never have
handful
enough.
of tokens that I keep, I have a handful of useful tokens that I keep with me all the time, but then gotta have the infinite tokens
Yeah.
too. All right. Cool.
Um.
So yeah, so we're talking a lot about the sanctioned events, and we kind of just casually mentioned the command zone, but it's everywhere during these cons. If you can find a table, you can find a commander pod. It's happening absolutely everywhere. Bring your commander decks. I know I'm gonna have at least 3 in my quiver at all times of various kind of styles and power levels,
Yeah.
with the intention of just playing all weekend. And I don't know about you, but I'm planning on actually bringing more than I'll have with me on hand. That way I can rotate them in depending on the day.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, not only in the hall, if you sit down at a table, honestly, it's not uncommon to just be sitting at a table by yourself, right? Maybe you're like having lunch, and it's not uncommon to have somebody walk up and be like, "Hey, you looking for a game?" Like,
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Even
because
at the food tables, when you're
yeah,
sitting down actually having lunch away
yeah,
from play areas, people are like,
mm-hmm,
"Hey, yo,
yeah.
table, chair. Here's my playmat, and what level of commander deck are we playing?" Like,
Yeah, and meanwhile, you're like, I'm working on a hot dog right now. Are you sure?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, yeah, no, for real. This
Lizzie
happened.
in hand, magic cards in the other.
Right?
Yeah,
No, it's great. Yeah, and on top of that, like even when you're not in the convention hall itself, like whatever hotel you're staying at, go
yeah,
down to the lobby, and there'll be a game going. Probably deep into the, you'll be able to find. You'll be able to find games everywhere. And
yeah.
literally, I mentioned, coming home from Vegas last year, meeting folks at the terminal, and if our flight had been delayed, we would have absolutely thrown down on a game right there on the floor. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's everywhere. Just there will be Magic players everywhere you look. Also, if at any point you're not sure how to get to the hall from wherever you happen to be, just follow the backpacks. There will
Facts.
be there will be like a herd of backpacks moving all in one direction. Just hop right on in. They're
You
going
will
to the
find
con.
them. Yeah.
Yep. It's tough to miss.
You will find
Yeah.
them, and if not, you will all be confused together. And the
Exactly.
better
And
way to not be confused is to work together to figure out your problems.
100%.
So,
Yeah. It's great.
but yeah, lobby
Anyway.
cons are a great way.
Oh my goodness.
Like Ham Hawks is saying, to just meet new people, because the hall does close.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean the Magic playing needs to stop. And I'm just not going to speak for me and Ham Hawks, but like you will go find like some of the creators that you've come in contact with at those lobby cons, because they don't like to sleep either. So
we're not there to
if
sleep.
you want to meet up with somebody that you didn't maybe get a chance to say hello to, you'll probably find them there. And they will likely be more than happy to play some Magic with you.
Oh yeah.
I never say no. Somebody asks me to play Magic, hey yo, let's go. You tell me what level deck we're playing, and we can play.
Oh yeah.
That's why we go a couple days extra before and after, because we might need a day to recuperate. Because
absolutely,
got to do some relaxation.
Yeah. Well, there have been a number of times at these events where I've been the old man calling it early at 3 a.m. With the understanding that I'm going to be back in the hall by 10 the next day.
Yeah.
Like that is not uncommon at all.
And fun fact about Vegas is Vegas does not close. So
no, it does not.
You can be up at your LobbyCon till 4 a.m. And let's say you didn't go to sleep. You can go find some friends, and you can go out to breakfast, and then you can go back to your hotel room, shower, change, go right back to the con with no sleep. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is something that you can do.
Yeah, getting a couple hours is helpful, but you don't have to, strictly speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a beautiful thing.
It's a blast. Well, and also if you're thinking, well, going to Vegas, do I really want to experience Vegas? Fun fact, I went to Vegas last year and I didn't really do much. I mean, we went to In-N-Out. Like we walked up to In-N-Out and I remember just kind of being aware of the layout of Vegas. Also, as somebody who lives in Michigan, I had the delightful experience of being on an escalator and then mid-trip realize, wait, I'm outdoors right now.
Yeah,
Like, wait a minute. Because, they have outdoor escalators there, which is something that you don't think about. But, like, it doesn't snow. What do they have to worry? And it barely rains. So, whatever. It's fine. They were covered. But anyway, it was, but that's the level of Vegas experience that I had. Like, I didn't go to any casinos. I didn't gamble at all, but I had a phenomenal time, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, because you can experience the con without necessarily diving, if you think, oh, I need to hit the Las Vegas tourist checklist, honestly, if you're fully invested in the con, unless you add a couple of days to either side of your trip, you're not going to get a chance to.
Right.
It's, yeah, it's pretty wild.
Even though, they call Vegas Sin City, for folks out there who are living the sober lifestyle, there are tons of things that you can do that don't involve going out and indulging in gambling or drinking or whatever. The beauty about Vegas is there is such diversity in activities to do.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, my buddies and I went to an Avengers showcase that was actually like around the corner from Treasure Island, and we got to go in and just experience like the Avengers feel. Like there was AI things in there that were happening. There were replicas of like the different Iron Man suits, and the whole Avengers team. You got to check out some movie props. It was a good time.
Nice.
And you know, something that will take you like an hour and a half or something like that to do, or 2 hours to do. Yes, it probably exits to a casino because
Sure.
Vegas. But there are tons of different activities for you to do, especially if you like to eat. If you like to be a foodie and check out a bunch of cool like breakfast and brunch spots, Vegas is well known for that. One of my favorite places to go is Hell's Kitchen. They do have a Hell's Kitchen location like right outside of Caesar's Palace. And usually you think you'd need to have a reservation like way ahead of time. But, you know, if you want to do that, you can. But you might get like an open slot and be able to go in there. So that's pretty neat because you get the touristy thing of that. And then you get to sit down and enjoy like some good food.
Nice.
One creator, though, I would recommend if any of you are on like TikTok or Instagram, check out the creator. Their name is Vegas Starfish. And this is a person who used to work in the casino industry, like was a casino host. And she takes you to all these hidden gems in Vegas that you can check out that are all like walkable distance from the strip or very short Uber rides or something like that. Just to have some fun and excitement. Because believe it or not, if you're not walking, which I guess this should be like sort of the cautionary part of the podcast, in terms of like the weather in Vegas, because it might be October now, but it's still hot there.
It
You
is.
remember that Vegas is a desert. So me, being as pale as I am, it might not be hot, like humid hot outside. It might feel like it's in the 70s, like in Jersey or something like that. But the temperature is really in the 90s. You
Yep.
will burn. Your skin will burn. Okay? So just be careful when you are walking. You are welcome to walk outside, and a lot of the sidewalks are shaded or like mist under them now. You can walk in and out from casino to casino, like they're connected in one way or another on the strip, just so you're not walking under the sun. But some of the casinos actually have a monorail tram. So, fun fact for those of you who are going, I would encourage you for the con, if you want to go on the strip at all, buy a monorail pass. It's like $35 and it's good for 3 days. So the duration of the con, you can always purchase it for more than that. But there's a monorail stop that stops right at the convention center to get into MagicCon, and it stops at different casinos along the strip. And as once you buy it, you're good to just pop on. You scan a QR code, it lets you on the monorail. They run every 5 minutes or so, and so that's easy to help get you from like location to location, rather than paying like $30 per Uber ride every time you're trying to go somewhere, which you are more than welcome to do. But I would just say, you know, traveling on the strip, monorail is like the way to go. Only Uber when you got to go off strip, or somewhere that's like too long, like walking distance. But yeah, there's tons of stuff to do in Vegas. You can do the gambling and drinking and stuff like that. If that floats your boat, you can go to see shows. All of that is there. But, you know, like Hamhawk says, if you're only there for the duration of the con, you're not really going to be able to do all of that. You might get the chance after the con ends or before the con starts to go out and do some of that stuff. And, you know, the Sphere.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Sphere yet in Vegas, that is an experience all on its own.
It is the ultimate orb you can ponder.
Facts.
Which it's
That is facts.
Yeah, the one thing, so this is a joke that I made every time we saw it there, and I was disappointed it never happened. One thing that I have yet to see on the Sphere, but I'm hoping this year it's going to happen. At some point, I want to look over at that thing and see a big blue screen that says 404 error. That's what I want to see on the Sphere. I want to see somebody losing their job because they didn't load the proper advertisement. That's what I think that'd be hilarious. But
I think last time they were playing Mortal Kombat on the Sphere.
Yeah, some Mortal Kombat title.
One of the new Mortal Kombat games just came out. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably spent as much advertising as they did making the game,
For
because
sure.
I'm sure that was not cheap. Yeah.
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 Um,
Oh,
but yeah, tons of stuff to do in Vegas. You know, if you follow me on the socials, follow him on the socials. We're gonna be posting a lot while we're there.
yeah, we will.
So you will see us doing all of these things, magic stuff and more probably.
Yep.
Because there's just so much to do.
There's so
Um,
much. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, all kinds of fun selfies, goofy moments. I have a feeling there will be a couple of casual magic moments. I'll be shocked if those don't happen during Vegas.
listen,
And
listen. I had been doing those takes, like sitting down
they're
playing
so good.
casual
I
commander
love
and
those.
dying to Thassa's
Yep.
Oracle on turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
So fun fact, this last weekend, just because it's interesting enough to mention. So I come back from SCG Con on Sunday. I drove back, right? I go
Mm-hmm.
play in an RCQ on Monday at my LGS. Because that's when is their normal Modern Monday, so they hosted an RCQ that night.
Nice.
I never play Modern, right? I just
Mm-hmm.
don't play it regularly enough to know the metagame. So I end up getting to the finals of this RCQ. I'm playing Domain Zoo. Imagine Leyline of the Guild Pact for free and Scion of Draco for 2 mana.
I mean,
It's
it's
kind of
pretty good.
messed up.
Yeah.
So I was playing that. Okay, I get to the finals,
Mm-hmm.
and on game 3, I die to Thassa's Oracle.
No way.
On turn 2 in
What?
Modern, there is a Modern deck that Corey Baumeister plays all the time. I recognized what it was, and it plays Grinding Station and Underworld Breach. And you
Oh.
basically get to loop Mox Ambers and Mishra's Baubles while floating mana to keep casting those 0 mana cards from the graveyard. And you mill yourself out, and on turn 2, you can kill your opponent with Grinding Station and floating blue mana for Thassa's Oracle.
Oh my goodness.
And I've introduced myself to casual Modern.
I
So
love that.
it is what it is. But yeah, this is something that you could do in that format, and it continues to be a menace.
The Mirrodin block had some of the most bonkers uncommons ever. So Grinding
Yeah.
Station was an uncommon from 5th Dawn. You had Skull Clamp was originally printed uncommon. Aether Vial was originally
Artifact
uncommon.
lands,
Artifact
bans.
lands. Artifact lands I think were common. You know, or Disciple of
Yeah.
the Vault was definitely common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silly.
So much
Stuff.
so that
Cranial
ATOG
plating
was fair.
Right? That was wild, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
Grinding Station. Hooray. Yeah. All the stations. It's funny because the station cycle is actually, there are, I think, 4 of them that were, or is it just 3? But regardless,
Something like that.
if you have all of them together, they can form kind of an infinite loop that feeds on itself, which is kind of fun. It was definitely one of those kind of like I dare you things, to the point where the art is actually done by Greg Staples, and he actually did a panorama that's all of them, and if you put them next to each other, it shows like this big assembly line that the end result is a little mirror popping out, which is pretty cool. But it's funny though, because in reality, they all have an effect where you can like tap, sacrifice a thing, do a thing, and then when another thing happens, they untap. And so they all have this ability to kind of twiddle themselves. And so all of them are just infinite combo machines. Like they like even by themselves, they just are.
Yeah.
It's
Mirrodin
silly.
was some wild times.
Yeah, I think they learned a lot about development. Oh, Lightning Greaves was also an uncommon from Mirrodin, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep, that's a whole other tangent. This was actually this year after I started. I think this was within the first like calendar year of me starting to play the game was Mirrodin. So yeah, it was one of the first full blocks I got to experience. It was wild. I was like, "Is this what you guys have been up to?"
That was one of the
game
first
is
standard
crazy.
formats I played, because I started playing in 8th edition, and not too far after that, actual Mirrodin came out. And I remember the first ever standard deck I played in like Junior Super Series qualifiers. Was Tooth and Nail Entwined, so I could play.
Yep.
So I could play like Platinum Angel and Darksteel Colossus on the battlefield for 9 mana, and it was the greatest thing in the world.
It's pretty good.
And Skull Clamp got banned, and so that was fun.
Yep. Oh man, nuts. Sorry, whenever I see anything from Mirrodin, just takes me back. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have Smuggler Surprise in standard, and it's like Tooth and Nail who?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah.
let me try to do something similar for 6 mana, because why
Mm-hmm.
not?
Just because why
Uh,
not? Yeah,
but speaking of art,
love
because you
it.
did mention artwork,
Yes.
another big thing about MagicCon Las Vegas is the actual Art of Magic section. Um, so, I would encourage you to check out the MTG Festival's website, because it has a list of different artists who are going to be there, especially Elena Danner, who is the artist of Jeweled Lotus. So even though you can't play that card anymore in Commander, I would highly encourage you to please stop by and support that artist, because
Mm-hmm.
that was probably their biggest piece that they've had in the game. And
Mm-hmm.
so obviously not being able to play the card anymore in Commander
Yeah.
might lead to lesser business. I would hope not. So I
Mm-hmm.
would encourage you, please check out all of the artists, but especially Elena Danner, because um, for many
Well,
reasons.
100%. And regardless of how you feel about the card,
Yeah.
that painting is breathtaking. Like it
Hmm.
really is. And it's, and I don't know, the lotus is so iconic in Magic to, I don't know,
Yeah.
it is a beautiful piece of art. Like, if prints are available, go get them, do
Hmm.
whatever you got to do. Cause yeah, it's however you feel about the card,
Yeah.
let's appreciate the artist's work. Yeah.
Yeah, tons of your favorite artists are going to be there. John Avon is going to be there, iconic Magic artist.
Fantastic.
Chris Ron, I know, is going to be there. Uh, Kieran Yanner is going to be there. The drawer of Kenrith, the artist of Kenrith is going to be there.
Heck yeah.
I also think that he did Queen Marchesa. Um,
Oh, nice.
so
Yeah.
check all of that out. It's a great experience, because not only do the artist booths have everything set up there, but there's also like random magic art that like Wizards brings with them to decorate the area, and it is just like a visually beautiful place to be
Mm-hmm.
at the con. And at the last Magic Con in Chicago, they had a free play area right outside of the Art of Magic, where it had tabletops that had a bunch of different art of Magic cards on top of them, and they were perfect for Commander games. They were 4 people tables,
Mm-hmm.
and you could just sit down there, and it's like you were sitting in the world of Magic, playing Magic. And that is just its own experience there, and it's free. You don't have to pay extra for that. Um, so support the artists, because they're there. They
Yeah.
have typically like prints of their art that you can bring home.
Mm-hmm.
They do signings. Now I will tell you, not all, but some artists do charge a price for signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, they gotta eat too,
It's their
right?
job. Exactly.
It's
Yep.
their
Yep.
job. So be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
They always have different ways that you can pay them, cash, or some of them have like squares and stuff like that, or QR
Mm-hmm.
codes for you to sign. Um, and they're more than willing to sign your cards. But they also do some commissions. So if you wanted to get like an alter of a card done that they did, or have them sketch something else like on the card, they'll do that. It costs some amount of money to do it, and they might only accept like a certain amount of commissions per day that they can work on
Mm-hmm.
while they're there, because they're going to be busy. They're going to be busy
Oh
from
yeah.
the morning till MagicCon closes. So
Mm-hmm.
also be patient with them, because they're also probably getting as much sleep as you do during this con. So
Maybe less, and the difference is
maybe
they're not
less.
playing games while they're there. They are working. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely support your artists, and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you visit that Art of Magic
Yeah, and
section.
even if you're not planning on getting anything signed, or going up to a specific artists or waiting in line or whatever,
Yeah,
walk through it. Do yourself a favor and just see what's going on in there, because it's so impressive. Yeah,
yeah.
it's lovely.
Um, Now my favorite part to talk about MagicCon is Creator Central. My
Woo!
opinion is not biased at all.
Of course not.
Neither is Hawk's opinion, but
No, not biased in any way.
not at
Of
all.
course not. Not biased.
Uh,
Not biased at all. No, we're not
Creator
gonna be rocking
Central
with creator
is
badges or anything. It's fine.
Yeah, we do have creator badges for this
We
event.
do.
Thankfully,
Yes.
thank you, Wizards of the Coast.
Yes. Thank you, Wizards.
Um, so we are going to be in Creator Central a lot. So what is that zone? Creator Central is the zone where you can go visit one of your favorite creators. If you want to say hello, if you would like to get autographs. Some might actually have things to hand out to you. For example, Hamhawks has some new tokens.
Yes.
Maybe you'd want to show
I
off.
do. So I actually got some tokens made up, and they are 3/3 elephants. And I commissioned a 3/3 beast token, and they decided to model it after my cat, who is currently laying on my lap, which I
Uh-huh.
love. So if you are going to get hit by a generous gift or a beast within at any point over the weekend, I do have custom custom beast and elephant tokens,
Yeah.
and they're double sided. So yes, and I
Awesome.
have plenty of these, and I'll be throwing them around to anyone who will take one. So come
Yeah.
find me. Come get your beast token.
Yeah, these things
Well,
to
and
us,
she's a beast, so
these
I think
are
it
our
fits.
business cards for us
Yes.
creators,
Mm-hmm.
for us to be able to share our platforms in real time with people. I am getting new tokens that should be in within the next week. So if
Excellent.
you ever wanted to get, first I have some of my older ones. For those of you watching on the YouTubes, I've got a clue token that's got like my crest on it.
Heck
I
yeah.
call it my crest because the olden days history. Look it up. But it's
Your
got that. But
livery.
they also have QR codes on the back that go to all of our social platforms,
Yep.
and all of mine will come with the stickers. You might get like some Luna emote stickers while you are there and you meet me. And I'll have a limited number of Luna 22 cat tokens
Heck
with me
yeah.
too. So you can get those. The newer tokens that I am going to have with me, I do have a my Luna cooking emote. That's kind of Luna being menacey around like a cauldron. That's going to be on an everywhere token. So for
Nice.
those of you who need everywhere tokens for your Overlord of the Hauntwoods, I will have those for you. That token is expensive in paper. Like an everywhere token's going for like $5 or something like this. Like the
Which
actual token. So
yeah, which
it's a
is
proxy for
pretty
me.
wild. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah,
cool token, but why not have a cool proxy? Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll
And
also have official MagicJank stickers with me as well, so we
oh
can.
yes,
Yeah, those will be making the rounds also.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And what else? What did I get? I also got I got a Luna food token. It's got like Luna's
nice.
treats on it or something like this. Yeah. So you'll be able to see us and get those. But
Mm-hmm.
it's more than just Hamhawks and I that are going to be there. You might have some other favorite creators that you're looking forward to meeting. I know that there's going to be tons of cosplayers. My favorite in particular is Dark Pack cosplay because their
Oh my
cosplays
goodness,
are amazing.
on point.
Um,
Yeah.
but there's going to be many different cosplayers there. In terms of other creators, you might watch like Amazonian or Voxy. They're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Krim the Ace and Avenger is going to be there. Tappy Toe Claws, Numont the Nummy, Kenji is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of people, tons and tons and tons of different people. Um, in fact, you could stop by and see us at a particular time at
Indeed, you sure
MagicCon Las
can.
Vegas. When is that,
Yes.
him?
So on Sunday, October 27th, from 12 to 1, in the creator area, Carlo and I are actually going to be hanging out, doing an official meet and greet. So we'll be around the convention all weekend, but that's the time where we're going to be pinned down, and you can guarantee find us there, which is going to be pretty darn exciting. So also,
Yeah.
thank you so much to Wizards for giving us the spot, giving us the table. But yes, we will absolutely have all these stickers, tokens available right there, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah.
Yes, please make sure to
So come
stop
say
by
hi.
and say hello because we want to see you. Um,
Absolutely.
we want to meet you. One of my best highlights of going to any of these events is I actually get to meet viewers of my content. Whether
Mm-hmm.
that be someone on Twitch or somebody from some social platform. I like to meet the people behind the username. And
Yes.
I've thankfully had the opportunity to do this many times now, whether it be at MagicCon or STG cons and stuff like that. And go out and hang out, grab a bite to eat or something. I want to get to
Mm-hmm.
know the people who are typically like engaging with me. To me, that's one of the most rewarding things as content creators as we can get. So
Absolutely.
definitely stop by and say hello.
Oh my goodness. And especially, I don't know, it means so much because while you might see, streamers or other content creators all the time and you might think, oh, they're connected to so many people. in
Yep.
reality, like, putting content out on the internet, it's easy to kind of. I'm going to speak for myself here. I don't know if this
Yeah.
applies to anybody else, frankly, but you can almost feel a little isolating. So making
Hmm.
the human connection, because the usernames, we know the usernames, we have our banter, we've developed those relationships, and that's
Yep.
awesome. But the moment that becomes a human being, it just feels very different. Like I'll never forget Vegas last year, Medicine just coming up and just being like, "Oh hey, by the way, I'm Medicine." Like, no way, how's it going, man?
Hello. Yeah.
You
Good to
know.
see you.
And like, and I've also, met folks like Not Girl Then Die or Wilker, like these folks
Yeah.
in person. And it's just like, and there's so many, I'm not going to be able to name everybody, but it's just, it's mind blowing because we have
Yeah.
that, we do already have a relationship, but to put a face to the name and to meet in physical space where we can both
Yeah.
use words to talk to each other, it's great. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, at SCGCon just last weekend, I got to meet D Kish in person. And we got to go out and we went and had dinner together and just had a overall
Nice.
good time. I got to see Not Ruled and Die, Chris, and we got to
Love Girl.
play some Oathbreaker games, which
Nice.
was fantastic. So, and then I got to see, other fellow creators. Magic Mr. Migo was there, Flavor Pro Matt. We got to hang out and do some
Yes.
Booster 2 drafts. Um, so that was a good time. But yeah, it's all about just hanging out, having some fun. Creators are real people. The people who are
It's crazy,
consuming our
right?
content are real people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just good to make those connections and hang out. And that's one of the things that MagicCon, as part of their experience, because you're going, they do get to offer for you. You get to meet those people. So
It's the coolest. Yeah.
yeah,
And again, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but I think it's safe to say we freaking love it. That's why we're going. Please say hi.
yes, come up to me, say
It's the
hello. I
best.
will shake your
Yeah,
hand, fist
it's
bump,
the
whatever
greatest.
you are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a shy person, so I will say hello to everybody. So um, just let
Yep.
me know who you are. I will ask you, oh, who are you in Twitch? Who are you just in
Yes.
general? Hello. Where did you find our content? We can have a conversation about whatever you want. And if you want to jam some magic, we got plenty decks on us.
And I'll also tell you, I'm a bit of a hugger. I always, if you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. But they're
Yeah,
available. Feel free to come redeem a hug. I'm happy to,
true.
yeah, hook you up. Anyway, well, handshake, fist bump, any of that. Also,
Yeah, yeah.
totally lovely and acceptable. All right, but yes. So yeah, so that's coming up next weekend. It's happening. Cool.
Sooner
Was
than
there
we
anything else
think.
that we wanted to talk about related to the event itself? Because it's going to be an absolute whirlwind when we get there, and it's going to be over too soon. I can already tell. Um,
Yeah. To me, we're already like in progress of it.
mm-hmm.
Um, one other thing, if I had to mention anything else aside from
Mm-hmm.
like meeting all your homies and having a good time,
Yeah.
there's one particular booth that I would encourage you to stop at MagicCon, and that is the Magic Kids booth.
Yes.
Magic Kids is an organization that helps teach people how to play Magic. They are also a 501c3 charitable organization, in the sense that they are able to collect. What they do is you can drop off any Magic cards you want to their booth,
Mm-hmm.
and they will take that and they will ship them in kits out to schools, out to rec centers all across the country to teach kids or individuals in general at that particular organization how to play Magic. So they offer like the teaching services there for free. Lots of content creators work with Magic Kids to help them to teach. So you can stop over there. You'll probably see like Giraffinat and Beth
Mm-hmm.
Queen of Cardboard will likely be there. And they are also promoters of the Oathbreaker format. That's that 60 card format where your Planeswalker is your commander and they have a signature spell. So if you happen to bring an Oathbreaker deck, somebody is likely going to want to throw down with you over there. It's all around fun format to play, sort of like faster pace. I like how Not Ruled and Die describes it. He's like, basically, if you don't have time to sit down for Commander for an hour, but you got like 20 minutes as part of your lunch break, sit down and jam, this Commander variant, and it'll finish. Your game will finish in 20 minutes or something like that. So it's a good time. It's a good
Unless
time
you're
to sit down.
unless you're in a pod with everybody playing mono white commanders, that can grind
Oh
for some time.
yeah.
But anyway, that was the last Oathbreaker experience I had, but that was the exception, not the rule. Yeah, they're
Uh-huh.
generally quite quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would encourage you to
Yeah.
stop over there, check them out. Donate extra cards if you got some draft from the weekend that you're not necessarily wanting to
Mm-hmm.
drag all the way back with you. Drop
Yep.
it off at Magic Kids. They will gladly take them all. and then distribute them, as necessary.
Yeah. Well, and it's so cool too because it's turning something that I know. That's the other thing that you'll see throughout the convention hall is people just leaving draft chaff literally just on the tables. Like they'll just
Yeah.
leave it behind because they'll take the one card that they want, and it's a whole slew of commons and uncommons.
Yep.
From Duskmorn. In this case, Bloomborough is going to be pretty heavily represented as well. So. Those two sets will just kind of be all over the con.
Yeah.
So if there's any common or uncommons from those sets that you're looking for, just check random tables. You'll probably find something. But the idea that Magic Kids is willing to accept those and you get value out of them when the rest of us wouldn't necessarily use them.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Because when you think about it, if you're making, decks for after school events, if you're making, decks to teach people how to play the game, those don't need to be high powered. They don't need to be fully optimized. It's often better if they're not, And
and they work with educators. So like if you are an educator and you happen to be at MagicCon and you wanted to start like a magic club at your school, they have all of that information up to link up with you, and you can be a Magic Kids school or a Magic Kids club that you were going to start at your particular like rec organization or something, and they help you lead through that process. And they have partnered with Wizards before to help bring that stuff to community organizations. So make sure to stop by and check them out.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely support them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Very cool. Well, yeah. So, so we've just been gushing about the upcoming event for an hour now, which is cool. So we should probably bring this thing on in for a landing. One thing that I kind of want to touch on, one other piece of news that is that's not apropos of the con, that I thought would be worth chatting about quickly, is there's a new secret layer out, because we were talking about the nostalgia that we're feeling for certain things, and there is a secret layer that came out. We don't talk about every secret layer because that's all we would talk about if we did.
For sure.
But this one just caught my attention. So they're doing a secret layer, which, if I'm not mistaken, is for to support it's Extra Life, correct? This one, yeah. So it's an Extra Life charity secret layer, and it is modeled after like those old 16-bit video games, like the side scrollers, like your Mega Mans and your Super Metroids. It has that kind of a vibe, and it's depicting like a boss battle between Fibblethip and Nicol Bolas, and it is the coolest thing I have ever seen. So if you haven't seen these, go check them out. The cards that were included were Fierce Guardianship, Lightning Bolt, Mana Geyser, and Delight Blast Fireball. And they're absolutely stunning.
These will be the only copies of these cards that I will ever play going forward. And that is because, one, they have Nicol Bolas on it, which is my favorite character in Magic ever. But two, fun fact, though, Nicol Bolas is the one that's stuck in the Spirit Realm, and Fibblethip is not. So we can probably determine who's won the boss battle in the end. And it's probably Fibblethip, until Wizards decides to break Nicol Bolas out of the Spirit Realm via the Magic Story.
Oh, yeah, it's just a matter of time, though, I'm sure. But, yeah.
You can see this in this is Delayed Blast Fireball, right?
The art for Delayed Blast Fireball.
For those of you watching on YouTube, and it's Nicol Bolas getting annihilated by presumably Fibblethip's Lightning Bolt.
Actually, come to think of it, I think it goes in sequence where I think Nicol Bolas shoots the Lightning Bolt, and then Fierce Guardianship deflects
and it's reflected back.
I think is what it's doing. Got it. Sick.
R.I.P. Bolas.
And the health bars at the top even kind of tell a story with it. Oh, it's great. Yeah,
that's awesome. If there ever is a secret layer I buy 4 of to get play sets of these cards, it's this one.
Oh, 100%. Well, and the other thing about it is like the other element that for audio folks out there, the other element of it that is just absolutely fantastic is the text box is formatted like an old dialogue box, and it shows a Johnny in kind of that same spot that you would expect to see, like Otacon or somebody talking to Solid Snake. Like it's kind of got that vibe, or like a character that you would see in like a JRPG, like an old Final Fantasy game or something like that. And then the text box it shows the rules text as though a Johnny was explaining it to you. Yep. It's awesome. The general aesthetic, like this was clearly made by people who grew up on, Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, and I appreciate you. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, they got it right. Anyway, I needed to gush about that, and it's for a good cause. So it's it's for charity. So all the more reason to justify the expense. Just go pick them up. They're great. And well, I mean, Fierce Guardianship and Delayed Blast Fireball are both big money cards right now.
Yes.
I mean, Fierce Guardianship for sure. That one it's free counterspell. Like,
yep,
it can go in any blue commander deck, and it's going to be good. So,
and plus it's for a good cause, like you said, for charity.
Yeah,
listen, you're getting the value. You're getting value out of it for sure. You're getting amazing art, and you are donating to an amazing cause. So why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I love how they did this one. The execution was just flawless, and it was an important one to get right. So yeah, you love to see it. So also when it comes to charitable opportunities, if I'm not mistaken, Carlo, you've got something coming up, don't you?
Yeah. So for those of you who are listening now, so it would be this upcoming Saturday for you. I will be doing a 12-hour stream over on my Twitch channel from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am going to be raising money for an organization called Gamers Outreach during their Spooktacular Streamathon event. So it's something that they do every October where they reach out to streamers and they ask, hey, can you help us raise some money during this themed period? And so if you're not familiar with what Gamers Outreach is, it is an organization that empowers hospitalized children through video games. So basically all funds that are donated to that organization go out to provide gaming services in hospitals for those kids. So you might raise enough money to create a go-kart, which is basically the gaming station itself that is preloaded with X amount of games for the kids to be able to play. They have tons of different things that they offer. Might go towards like repairs for a go-kart that already exists. Or it might go towards like new titles being offered for those go-karts that exist and stuff like that. It's just it's a great experience. And so normally the way I do the charity streams over on my channel, normally viewer deck submissions cost channel points for folks to submit decks. But this time and only during charity streams do I ever charge for deck submissions. So if you want to submit your deck on the ladder for us to play, or you want to donate and do like a viewer battle, it'll cost $5 minimum donation, but you're always welcome to donate more to the charity. And the goal is to raise at least $1,000 for them. I think last year we were able to raise, my goal was 1,000 and we raised like 1,500 or something like this. So the community that always shows up, I'm always forever grateful for, because we got a good cohort of community members that show up and donate for these charity events. Our last charity event, I think we raised, it was like $1,620 or something like that for Games for Love. And it blows my mind that we're able to do that. So if y'all are interested in showing up, even just showing up to support, show up, watch what's going on, get the feel of what the charity events that we do are. I'm more than happy to have you there. So check that out. Again, our links are going to be below, so you can click on my Twitch channel. Make sure to give a follow so that way you get the notification when I go live. And then that's going to be this upcoming Saturday. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, definitely want to check that out. And yeah, even just hanging out and lurking is going to help just kind of boost the algorithm. So it's all helpful. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. Very cool. Well, I mean, did you have anything else that we wanted to touch on? I mean, I feel like we've covered all the bases. So
we talked about so much.
We talked about some stuff. And yes, so I can't wait for for Las Vegas. Hopefully we will see some of you folks out there. Again, come catch us, say hi. We'll see if we can get some games in, because I'm going to have plenty of decks on me. Carl, I know you're going to have decks with you. So we'll make it happen. Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah, links are down below for all the members of the team. Definitely check out Carlo's Twitch channel for that upcoming charity stream. It's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah.
And rock on. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you in Vegas.